Have you heard of CVE-2022-26923? Yes, I know it's dangerous. Yes, I know I have video about it, but now in that video, we are developing a live POC with my stream. A POC that can help you leverage these tools, Certify and Rubeus automatically, without typing the commands, without doing anything whatsoever, and on top of that, it's all in memory, guys. So we made it with our stream like in 3 hours. I hope you enjoy. This is the full video. I have not cut anything, so you can see my mistakes and my struggles, so you can learn from it. I've put timestamps below in the video, so you can skip to sections where you feel most comfortable. So I hope you enjoy the video, guys. Let's just dive in and see you right in the next one. Alright, we should be live now, so let me just double check that before I assume anything. All right, everything seems fine. I'm watching the chat, so if every one of you are seeing anything unusual, like any disruptions or anything else, just make me sure in the chat comments because I am caring, guys. Yeah. So now we're developing a POC for a CV-26923, and apparently that's a Active Directory vulnerability where you can exploit a certain patterns of certificates to gain administrative rights. It's a fun one. I already have a video about it, but I have a video about exploiting it the manual way. Now we're gonna do a POC, and my idea is to God, this is gonna be a long. So let me just start from the very beginning and explain what I want. And first, we're gonna need OpenVPN, I believe. Oh, we have it. All right. So let's first go to TryHackMe. All right. All right. Let me just log in elsewhere because I'm not remembering my password. So try hack me. Maybe I need to sign in with Google, which is not the thing I want. So oh, all right. Oh, capture fail test. Nice. All right. So what are we doing now? Why we need TryHackMe is because they have a lab based on that vulnerability, and it's called AD certificates template. Or there's two webs for the one is abusing the certificates the manual way using Certify and Rubeus. The next one is abusing with Certify, which is the POC based on Python. But what I want now is to create a POC based on Powershell. So let me just go to draw.io. All right, decide later. Now give me just 1 minute. Just want to verify something. If everything is good with the stream. It is okay. Nice. So just to mention that if there is a chance that you may uh, receive some interruptions from my side, that's because my router here is at the end of its life, and it's possible that for it to shut down. That's because I'm armed with my hotspots and stuff like that. So if the stream interrupts, just be a little bit of patience, and I'm gonna be right up as fast as I can. So let's get back to the point. We have a vulnerability called CV-2022-26923, which is abusing Active Directories. And it's abusing Active Directories certificate services, which is the service responsible for pushing certificates, reading certificates, doing all the certificates works inside the Windows directory. So it's not that standard certificate that you see on the web pages where you can pretty much see if the connection is secure or not. These certificates can be used for authentication, authorization. It can be used for a variety of things. And there is a page wallpaper from SpectreOps, I believe, which was ADTS CVE-2022-26923. Let me find it for you. I'm gonna post in the chat so you can find it there. So no, that's the mine one. I'm gonna post as well. I've briefly explained it. So this is the first article. Then where was it? All right, Spectre. Oops, maybe that. Not sure. ADTS white paper. Oh, there it is. All right. So this is the link that I've studied from, and this is the original blog post that explained in details how that thing really works, how the ADTS is working, how the exploitation is being done, and if you scroll a little bit down, you can see a variety of attacks. So right here, yeah, so CS1, CS2, and so on. My idea is the following. We have a POC based on these guys' tools called Certify. We have Certify for Python version. We have Rubeus, which can authenticate and so on. I want to combine all of that and use PowerShell. So I want with a single command, for example, PowerShell IEX download string that to invoke the whole script to run inside memory and to see if that's vulnerable, and if it's vulnerable to perform something. Maybe I'm not needing that diagram anymore, but that's what I want to do. So let's open up the tools. Certify GitHub. There it is. Then we're gonna need Rubeus GitHub. And then we're gonna need, what was it? Certify precompiled, because we don't have time for compile it now. We have precompiled binaries, all the things are here, so we can get it from there. But I want GitHub repos because they explain one really essential thing, which is how to run that thing using PowerShell and C#. In case you didn't know, there is a way for you to run any kind of C# code directly in PowerShell. So pretty much I can vote if the C# code is syntax right, it works, it does not need any external libraries. If it's a generic .NET, I believe 4 or .NET Framework 4 or 4.5, it's gonna run natively on any kind of Windows box using PowerShell. So yes, inside your PowerShell prompt, you can pretty much vote any kind of C# code. How that's been done, we can have a snippet for that. So what C# in PowerShell. It's something like that. No, actually it's not. It's not that. It's that. Yeah. So here is the example. We have a variable, which is going to be our code. And in that variable, we're going to store all of our methods. Then we can invoke that variable, compile it. It's going to create some local file. It's not complete in memory, but you know, it's something. And we're going to invoke it from memory, and we can perform its functions. So let me try write that down. For example, we can do code equals to, let's see. What was the C# syntax for int main? Public static int add, so we have multiply. Do you say that we don't need the main function here? Yeah, that's it. So let's copy that, paste it here. And then finish the syntax like that. So now we have variable called code, which is representing a standard C# code. Now in order to invoke that, we must do, like shown before, shown here, we can do it with that type, and this is gonna do a little bit of a local compile. It's not, as I said, completely in memory, but it's gonna compile it, and we're gonna load that thing into a memory. So if I add type code, the generated type is not public, so maybe that class thing needs to be public. And now I forgot the syntax of how to invoke that. Let me just really quick see my notes about that. Just a second. As far as my notes are correctly, we need to perform something like IAX and do, yeah, we have that autocomplete based on PowerShell module I've installed. So we're gonna need that hello world dot hello, all right, and then main. Oh, we need to finish the syntax. All right. So IX hello world dot hello and do main, and we have a invalid operation. So maybe we mistyped the name of the path. So let me just go with my notes because I want to get used to that syntax again because we can use that a lot. So sorry for coming to stream a little bit unprepared, but you know that's how it is. So we need the namespace and the class, which is hello. And then inside hello, we are running that main function, which is exactly what we did. So we have hello world namespace. Then we have that hello. Do I have a type here? Maybe I have. Not sure that main. Let me try to copy that code, but that time use a public class. So let me just go with remove variable code, then do code equals to that namespace hello world public. Let me just do tab. Can I? Public class hello. Then do public static void main array of strings and pass the args. Open the brackets again. System console write wine. Hi. All right. Close the brackets, close the brackets, close the brackets. And I believe I did not skip the syntax. Alright, so if I do code equals to that. Now let's do a type code. Cannot that type already exists. So let's try renaming it to something else. So let's try namespace hi and public class hi again. Alright, then that type code and then do ix hi dot hi again. Alright, and then main. And not sure what happened there. That's strange. So let's try search for some help. There was a really nice book about how this is being done. So let's try and find it. Yeah, it's something like that, but we want a simpler program. So Maybe we are lacking imports. Maybe we need to import that system library. I'm not sure. So whenever I'm getting used to that, we're gonna start developing our thing. So let's see that. Execute PowerShell script. C sharp. Hello world in PowerShell. Come on. It's not what I want. Let me try to see my notes again. Yeah, I think we're gonna be needing that system there because otherwise the box don't know what to do now. We have not specified. We can load that method, but we specified system console right when. Actually, I'm not sure what I'm missing. So we have the namespace, we have the class, then we have the method public static void main. All right. Maybe we don't need that args, and it's expecting it. So let's try code. Let's just remove variable code. Let's try it like that. So namespace, let's call it name. Just call it test, and then public class test, and then static void main, and remove the arguments because maybe it's expecting us to give some arguments. So run that, do add type code, do IAX, same thing. Now beside hi we need to test, and beside the class we're gonna need capital test, then main, and there we go. Alright, so I found the issue, and the issue was that we were expecting an argument for our system. So pretty much there is an example of how we can run C# code natively in PowerShell. So keep in mind that we just printed hi on our console, but we can pretty much do whatever we want. So that's how my custom C2 reverse shell works. It's a standard C# command injection, and it's injecting just like that. So you have a PowerShell script, you can do a bunch of C# code there, and if you inject that PowerShell script on a victim box, it's gonna run all that native C# code inside their box. So of course, if you're using standard compiler, the previous code should have worked, but it didn't. That's because, as you saw, it was requesting that system marks right there. And now if you're using standard compiler, there can be some code difference. That's why we need to test our payloads a lot before saying it works. Alright, so that's how we can run a PowerShell code inside our C# code inside our PowerShell. Now it's time to develop our POC. Let me just see something a little bit. Why we want TryHackMe is pretty much because they have a lab designed for that. So we do not need to pretty much build our own lab, see all the permissions, make users and so on. They have it already done. So let's go to TryHackMe there. I'm not sure if that's it. So let me just take a little bit of a look about it. Template enumeration. Generate malicious certificate. Maybe that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think that's it. Alright, so let me just go to that and open VPN. So go to Windows, open VPN configuration pack, download here, copy it to my desktop, and just run it. Import file, go to desktop, and open VPN. File import successful. Nice. Alright. So if we do IP sorry about that. If we do ipconfig, we can see we have mpk pullback address. Does it connect it? Connect. Alright, now I think it did successfully. So if I do ipconfig again, we can see a third IP address being popped up, and now we are connected to TryHackMe. So my idea is the following. Let's just, not the start box, sorry, attack box. We do not need that. So how do I stop it? Maybe from here. How to start this machine? Pretty much. Start machine. All right. So we have an SH. Yeah, thank you. The idea is simple. Besides building us a whole AD environment, we have an SH to a domain controller having a lot of users. We can abuse these users. We have logged in as a THM user, which is our previous one, and we can abuse that Active Directory certificate services to become a domain admin. Now let's get back to the main point. I get used to the syntax. I hope you're still watching because that was not the best performance, but never mind. So what we have here, let's get to the fun part. We have a tool called Certify. This tool is a tool from SpectreOps designed for scanning for such vulnerabilities. So that Certify thing can pretty much, if on the system, can scan for that misconfigurations inside the templates and output that if it's vulnerable or not. The misconfiguration is the following. We can assume that if it's vulnerable, we can push certificates and request certificates based on different users or machines. So for example, I can say, hey ADTS, I want a certificate, but you know, I am the domain admin. And if it's vulnerable and the template allows it, it's gonna say, alright domain admin, here's your certificates, then I push back that certificate to Rubeus, authenticate it, and now I'm the admin. This can be performed to machines objects, because in the AD there are not person objects, but there are also machine objects. And that same logic can be applied there. So yeah, I can go and request certificates based on different user or different machine having more privilege than me. Nice. So that thing, the good thing about that is it can be run in PowerShell with the exact same thing as we showed before. So keep in mind that instead of doing all of that, we can put real code there, which can do something and invoke it completely in PowerShell. So we have VPN access. Let's see. We don't want that. Let's remove that and that. So debug is being started. I'm gonna add an hour because it's gonna take a while. And let's see now. Let's try to ping that. Maybe we need to add it into a etc host file or the Windows equivalent. Let's try to sh thm, paste the IP address. Not quite. Not quite. Alright, so where was it? CD Windows System 32 drivers. Ooh. Oh my god. Do we have that host file here? One item selected. No, it's not there. So Windows etc hosts. It's inside say Windows System 32 driver etc hosts. So we have etc and hosts. Wait, I need to open that with Notepad. So like that, and add the IP address exactly the same way as if it's Sky Linux box. So here we have that IP address which resembles lunar.evoca.com. Alright. We need permissions, of course. So we're gonna do like that. We have already administrator, cd to here, and do notepad hosts. Now go to there and do the IP address again, and owner.eruka.com. Save it, and now we should be able to sh it. sh thm owner.eruka.com. Come on. I'm really not sure what's going on. So let's try with the IP address once again. I have VPN access, so strange. sh thm paste the IP. That's the downside of things doing live. You don't know what is breaking up. I'm afraid, but I need to open my Kali Linux box just for PVT and SH access. So let's go to Kali, go to here, and power on. I can't even ping it. Maybe it's something on my local level. So let's try firewall. No, not that. I want that. It's all disabled. Alright, so we have all outbound rules. Then let's try new rule. Then try to do port 22. Back, sorry, 22. Next, load the connection. Next, SH. Alright. Let's try it again now. See if it's a firewall. Does not look like it. So let's try with my Kali. We can use it as a pivot point. So no, it refused the connection. Alright, so let's go back. Let's disconnect from that OpenVPN thing because we don't want to hang our connection. Alright, now let's go to Kali and do login. Alright. So now what we want here is to pretty much have a terminal. I'm gonna go with erase history and then cd thm or TryHackMe cdad ct, and there are a bunch of tools that I have already downloaded, so pretty much we can download it directly from there, which is nice. And then let's go and do tmux erase history and do sudo openvpn config wap.ovpn. It connected successfully. Alright, nice. And now let's try to sh it. So sh thm, what was the IP address? Yes, alright. Password. Now we're in. Alright, so the fun part can begin. We have an SH access, and OD lab is based on you already going there and having some initial access. So have that scenario in mind. Let me just fix my... Alright. Have that scenario in mind where you already breached a computer, a domain controller, or any kind of a domain machine, and you have a previous user. For example, if you do who am I, we have owner thm, who am I, Groups, we have desktop users, remote desktop users, backup operator users, certificate service, DCOM access, and so on. So nothing special there. We have just a normal user. Although it's strange that this thing is running on high mandatory level, but we itself are not administrators. So the next part is pretty much I want to download Certify.exe and show you how that thing works. Then we can transfer that into PowerShell and try to build our POC. So let's go with Python HTTP server, cd desktop, nothing there, and do we get what's my IP address? Oh, ifconfig. Oh, we have it down there. All right. We get 10.9.1.1454 and then certify.exe. Oh. We get is just an alias. Invoke web request to that out file certify.exe, and we want to remove the next e, so it's not syntax error. And now we have it. If we go and run it, we have the bunch of commands. All right. Now let's just open it here as well, because after all, why not? We don't need bird for now. All right. All right. So there's a syntax /find, and that find is scanning for vulnerabilities. So for example, we can do certify.exe find vulnerable. Now if there is something, it's gonna scan the whole system. This is just the output of the DNS, full name, flags, and so on. If it's a vulnerable entity, it's gonna be displayed. So this tool is already scanning, it has the scanning capabilities what we need. So we have certify completed in 50 seconds, and we have some kind of an output. So we have vulnerable certificates templates, which are this one. So we have one, and then we have, I think, just one. CI name. We have two. All right. So we have two vulnerable templates. Let's go to my blog post, lsec qt medium CVE-2022, because there I displayed a bunch of commands, and we don't need to find them again from scratch. So let's just navigate a little bit. I highly recommend you guys reading that thing, because I really have no time explaining all of it. It's just a lot of theory, so we can dive right into action. The whole idea of this stream is not to explain how that works, but to dedicate and create something based on it. So we have the first command, find vulnerable. This is gonna present all the flags, all the certificate templates that have been vulnerable to hijacking and performing these attacks based on the CV. Then we need to request that, and it's gonna get us a PFX file. That PFX file we need to get back and convert it, then send it back and authenticate with Rubeus. So we have 5 steps. First one is scanning for vulnerable certificate templates. Second one is requesting a certificate based on that vulnerable template there. As you can see, we have outname equals to administrator. The third step is to pretty much change that certificate in a PFX file, because it's a not sure. It's not in it's a PEN format, and we need to change it into a PFX. All right, that's the third step. The fourth one is to authenticate as administrator with that certificate, and then we can pretty much do whatever we want, and we can add a fifth step of changing the password to the administrator. So we need to chain a bunch of commands and perform the action. All right, so let's start developing our POC. Let's go to Commando, and open up my blog post again. All right, and now let's navigate to here, open Certify, and find the place that it says how to be injected into memory. So using the following logic I showed you guys, this thing can be run completely from memory in PowerShell. Alright, so we have that. First we need to pretty much have it locally. Then we need to convert it to base64, so we're gonna convert all of the exe into a base64 format. Then we're gonna load that into a variable called Certify assembly and load it from the base64 payload like that. Then with the syntax like certify.program main, the same thing we did, we can invoke it. And as you can see, it's pretty much the same command. So let's get into action. We need let's just go to cd home, cd desktop, and make dir adct, cd adct. Alright, now here we're gonna need the certify. So we're gonna do step by step so we not get lost. Let's just download that and contains a virus. Come on. Command, don't stop me. Allow download. Guys, just to mention that if you experience any kind of interruptions, just make me know, okay? I'm always watching the chat for your questions if you have any. So anything you have to say, the comment section is yours, the chat is yours. I'm always watching it. So downloaded that and move it into the desktop folder. So ADCT like that. Alright. Now we need to decode it to base64. That's been done, as we saw, with the following syntax. Just change the path. Instead of certify, just do like that because we are already on the same directories. Now this is gonna convert everything into a, just remove the ctemp again, into a base64 payload. So cannot find file. Alright, so we need to put it here. So C users lsec desktop adct, and then do the same thing like that to put it here. Alright, and now we have the second file called certify.txt. If we cut that file, I will actually open it with Notepad. We can see it's a bunch of base64 payload. Now, in order to run that, let me just close all of my screens here. And we don't need that anymore. In order to run that, we need to first load it as a variable inside PowerShell. The very same thing we did, pretty much. Now here, just do cat certify.txt and set clipboard. Alright. And now, or actually, I'm wondering if I can load it directly as a file. So, maybe? Do I have my clipboard? Oh, I broke my terminal. Never mind. Let me just close that. Open it up again. So, cd desktop adct. Alright. And do like that. Remove that, and now I want to put C users lsec desktop adct and type certify. I'm not sure what's gonna happen, but I'm just wondering if I can load it directly in the file, and it's not. Alright, so let me just cat certify.text, say it to clipboard. Now I run the very same command, paste it in, and we just have to wait. Alright, so it's gonna take a while, and while that is being running, I'm gonna see in the chat if you have guys any questions. It's not look like it. So by doing that, we will be able to pretty much invoke it in memory and run simple commands. So for example, certify find vulnerable. We can invoke that completely in memory. For that case, I'm gonna pretty much need to open a Visual Studio Code, start writing that, so I will not waste any of my progress. Alright, so let's just, don't need that, file, open folder, desktop, ADCT, select folder, yes, and do POC.ps1. Alright. So we'll do very the same thing we did. So, oh, it's not that huge actually. I expected more. Oh, sorry. Just my machine is being slow. Alright, never mind. So, we need to find, we need to make the variable. So, code equals to, and then paste the base64 here. I think I've already had it in my clipboard, so I'm just gonna paste. Nothing happened. So I'm gonna open a new PowerShell, cd desktop ad cd, cat certify, set clipboard, and paste it here. Alright. Way faster. Alright. So we have that variable. I'm not sure what is going on. Is it better to develop it using PowerShell IDE? Not sure. Alright. And do echo code. I'm gonna save that. Open a PowerShell prompt like that and just try to run it. So poc.ps1 and it's echoing it out. Alright. So I suggest it works. So now, I think Visual Studio Code is just trying to save memory by not displaying the full string, but that's okay since it works. So I'm gonna need to pretty much stop that because I don't need it anymore actually. And copy that syntax, paste it here, and do code like that. Is it the only thing I need to do? Yeah, I just need to finish the syntax. Alright, so like that. Then run it again. Nice. And now I think we need to do IAX. Or what was the syntax based on their documentation? Certify, program, main, alright. So copy that, paste that, save it, run it, and as you can see, we run the two completely in memory. So let's try that. Let's try to pretty much, my idea is the following. We need some kind of a way to pivot these things because we don't have a direct connection to that TryHackMe lab. So we need to find a way to pretty much easy test it. So my idea is to copy paste and see what happens. So let's just try it. Copy, go to my curry, go to sh on the box, do who am I, paste it in. Yep, paste. Let's see what's gonna happen. Find vulnerable, and we need the PowerShell for that. Alright, PowerShell, paste again, continue. So the PowerShell is slow, not the CMD. CMD is way faster. But since the PowerShell is treating everything as an object, it works really slow. Let's see now. It's gonna take a while. So have patience, guys. I have an idea in mind, but oh, something happened. Not sure what is that. So that is the downside of pasting things. It's generally a good idea to sit on a server and just making a request from that machine. So I'm gonna do that. So here, my command, I'm gonna have a screen just designed only for a web server. So that thing is gonna go to cd desktop adct and it's gonna do ipconfig python 3-m http server 80. Remove python 3, just python. Yes, the default is python 3. Alright, and now here I'm gonna copy the IP address, go to Kali. It's wallet, by the way. Let's see. And as you can see, it runs. So let's make it a little bit easier. So I'm gonna go with that. Then I'm gonna open up a new pane. I'm gonna serve a web server, and in that pane, I'm gonna download my POC. So we get IP address poc.ps1, paste it in, and now the easier way of doing things is to do ix new object net.web client download string and do http 10.9.1.154 slash what was it, poc.ps1. I think that's it. Yeah, same thing. So as you can see, it's way faster and is doing everything in memory. So my idea is now in that screen, I'm gonna develop my POC in the commando because you know it's Windows. Then on that screen, I'm gonna download it. On that screen, I'm serving it, and here I'm executing it following that command, which is way cleaner way of doing things. Alright, so by running that command, we can see a request being made and the certify is being triggered inside memory. So I'm gonna remove certify.exe just so you see it's completely in memory. They are nothing here, and do ix, and we have certify in memory, which is nice. So it's time for the vulnerable templates. Now I think we have to struggle in order to grab that thing on the runtime in memory because it's starting a new process. But what I think is we can do output files. So we can pretty much have that find vulnerable templates, output that into some file, then we can read that file using PowerShell to determine if it has anything vulnerable inside. So let's just do that. Alright, give me just a second. Alright, so let's go back to my commando like that, and I want to see pretty much how to do output with certify. So we don't need that anymore, and do certify.txt. Now see the output function. So slash out file, I have it in my notes. So pretty much we can do slash out file, specify home, something called .json, then read that and see if there's anything vulnerable. Let's do that. So let's just modify our POC. Instead of find vulnerable, we can add out file. Do we need to add dots? I think we have to. So home slash temp.json. Alright. And then our logic is the following. This is gonna output the whole thing that certify does. So let's just do the process once again. Alright. I think it's alright in it. So we remove poc dot anything, run it again, run the command again. Come on. As you can see, we have no output now. My phone is ringing. But if we go and scan the directories, no output there here. So is it hidden? No, it's not. And that's because it is at home, not the desktop. So cd1 directory up, and we can see a file called temp.json. If we cut that file, we can see the exact output of the certify command. So far, so good. Now we need to pretty much do select string. For that, vulnerable certificate templates, I believe, or anything that can show us if it's vulnerable. So we need that, or actually, what is it? Maybe template name or schema version, because here we don't have that template name. My concern is that if there is not a vulnerable templates, this thing could still exist, but it's gonna be nothing down there. So maybe we have to use that template name, because later we're gonna be needing that, since we need to pass that template name to certify again to download a certificate, to create certificate. There it is, template user request. So we're gonna need that user request to be dynamically passed. So we're gonna need to pretty much have that into a variable. So for that to happen, we need to do select string. So now since we have loaded that certify into memory, I believe, if I do that, maybe it's gonna work again. Maybe. Yes, it does. So now what I can do is test it locally and drop it locally. Now I can type select string template name. Oh, we need to cat it, sorry. So I'm gonna do cat temp.json and do select string template name. And we have two things. Now we need to parse it and get just the last value, since it's the exact template name which you're gonna need to pass. So we're gonna need to pretty much do select string, then do over syntax in Powershell. Maybe replace anything? Not sure. So let me try Powershell replace empty strings. Let me see my notes real quick. Yeah, I have a paywall for that, so let me just copy it and do select string. Alright, we have that. Then for each object, do that syntax. This means for the current one, to string. Alright, and then do split, type the delimiter, which is that. Alright, remove the syntax one and replace with the /s. So like that. Don't tell me where I found it, how I managed to make it work. A lot of mind busting there. Now, as you can see, we have the template names we need for the request. Alright, so we need to add that into our POC. So let's copy it, go to the commando and do templates equals to that. So we need home / temp.json, do select string, and I think that's it. So let's encode the whole command, and this becomes single quotes, and now it should be fine. Alright, so if I save that and I download it back again, remove poc.ps1, saved it back, and now here do my IEX thing. Come on. Here we go, characters in path. So something is not right with the syntax. We have cat, home, temp JSON, select string, template name for each object. That delimiter. We don't have the single quotes beside that, but hmm. Or maybe that's indeed illegal because we need to cat that and then perform the other operations. Alright, so let's just redo the process. Remove POC, we get it, and now download back again. Now we have no output, which is nice. So I think that thing worked. I believe if we type, what was the syntax? Templates? We have them, which is nice. So we have the templates. The next step is pretty much to run them. So we need to request certificates for each template. What I'm gonna do is developing a loop. So it's gonna pretty much loop through all the available templates we have and generate a certificate for each one of them. Hi, nice to have you here. So hope you enjoy. If you have any questions, or I'm not sure when did you join. If you have any questions, just post them right here. I'm trying to watch the chat almost anytime, so no worries. Now here we have the next step. We have template. We need to grab for that CA thing here because this is the syntax of the certify. So we have certify request. That time we request the certificate. Then we need to pass the CA. Then we need to pass the templates. Then we need to pass the administrator. The administrator is easy, so we need to pass it like a string. It's always the administrator. That's a standard thing. But we need to grab that CA. So for that to happen, we need to develop another function, which is gonna be CA, and then equals to cat, very same thing, but beside, sorry about that, grabbing template name, we need to grab pretty much the CA. So let's see how that goes. Let's try. Let me just download Certify once again. So invoke web request 10.9.1.154 certify.exe out file certify.exe. Alright, certify.exe. Then we need to find, or we have a file, sorry, we have the template we can work with. So cat tmp.json, and now here we need pretty much to grab that thing here. So we need the full name. As shown in the examples here, CA equals to owner undc owner.com / owner undc CA. So we need that. So we need to grab for the full name, and we can perform right the same action like that. So instead of a template name, do full name here, full name, and I think we should have seen something. So let's see now. All right. Oh, it's without a space. All right. Nice. So we need to take that in, to our POC. So CA equals to that, and do it like that. Get home tmp.json and the calls here, which is nice. So now we have both of the things we need. We have the templates and we have the CA. So now we're gonna need to whoop throughout the all the templates that we have in order to perform the attack. So let's try do for, what was the syntax? Powershell for each. Maybe it was for each template in templates. Maybe like that. Ihu, let's see, just test, maybe. Download that. If that's right, we need to print out two tests. So remove previous POC, download the new one, invoke the new one from here, like that. And we have two tests, which is nice. That means our for each loop is working. So here, instead of typing two tests, we need to perform the exploitation 2 times. That's how it goes, because that's the logic I see behind. Alright, so let me just see a little bit. Notes, yeah, alright, so we have a loop having two templates and the DC, the full name of the path. The next step is to pretty much go ahead here. This is the original page. Go ahead to our step 2, which we need to request. So let's do it like that. Certify program request, like that. Request. And now we need to specify CA. CA equals to CA. And then template equals to template. Alright. And I think that's it. And out name equals to administrator. That's hard coded. So paste it here, update the POC. Let's see what's gonna happen now. Remove the POC, we get it again. IX, and let's see now. We should get the output of the certificates. If we have the certificates, we have already won, because all we need is to somehow save them, transport back to the box, convert it, and send it back. There we are. So we have the first certificate and the second one. So these are the PEM keys that are used for authentication. The next part is to pretty much translate them into a carry box and then just simply convert it into PFX using that OpenSL syntax that you see here. Send it back to the box, and pretty much that's it. So I know it sounds easy, but believe me, it's not. So yeah, so far so good. We can request 2 certificates, but now we want for each one of them to continue the exploit chain. So now when we have that certificates, I want the ability to pretty much able to read it. So I want somehow to grab that certificate. So I'm gonna go to out file, do /out file, cert dot just home, certs dot pem, maybe. All right. Now let's run it once again. So remove POC, we get POC, invoke it again. Let's see what's gonna happen. Empty path name is not illegal. We have some mistake there. Out file, we need those there. My bad. Remove POC, we get it. Do it again. And let's see what that file is looking like. I believe that it should overwrite it, so we're gonna have only one certificate inside. So cat server.pem, and that's the thing. So that's the good one because we can sync that with our loop. As you can see, we have only one certificate, and that is for the second template. So what it does, it goes with the first template, it generates a certificate and saves it to a file. Then we need to pretty much get it from the file, send it back, convert it, send it back, and then use it, and then repeat the process for the next one. That way we're gonna pretty much generate only one file for the certificate and not have a bunch of files, which is nice. So we need pretty much to sync that with our loop. Let me just go to commando and see how much time we left with the environment because I'm not wanting us to be stopped. We have plenty of time, nice. So now the idea is the following. Since we cannot put that into a file, we want to convert that file and pretty much send it back and forth to our carry box. Alright, so for that case, we need to develop a little bit of infrastructure, and we're gonna need to have a server side and a client side, so this thing can happen possible. So my idea is the following. We have that certificate. We're gonna read it from the file we just generated. We're gonna ship it to the carry. We're gonna develop a Python server, which I've already had because I struggled a lot with that, and I don't want to waste that much time because it's already like not sure 1 hour. So I have a Python server which pretty much can get a get request, having with that body, or post request, sorry, having that body, it can resemble it into another certificate and it can send it back. So let me just create a function. So function, what to call it? Extract pfx. All right. And I'm not sure we want the syntax is right. Now it is. So I think that function should be sitting top, I believe, because it's a scripting language and it just executes line by line. It's interpreting things, it's not compiling. So I believe that function must be stored right about here. So these are all my global variables and functions we want to use. All right. So we have function which is extracting a pfx. All right. And what that is doing is to pretty much, as I said, getting the certificate, sending it back, and waiting for response. Now let's inspect my Python server because that's the part I struggled a lot. So I'm gonna call it uploader.py. So new file, uploader.py. I'm just gonna copy it from my notes there, like that, and let's just inspect what it does. So we have a very simple HTTP for login requests. That's the syntax of how to run it. So we have a class. Let's just fix our syntax a little bit because Python is indent based, so we need a lot of tabs to know what comes after what. So we have the base class, which is the standard HTTP things, and if you want to build an HTTP server with Python, that's the way you do it. It's just standard stuff, and let me just do it like that. Let's just fix the syntax, and we can go through it and see what it does. All right. So we have that. I think that's it. All right. All right. So I think if I do Python upload.py, it's starting up. All right. So my syntax is right. Let's just inspect the code and see what it does. These things are all the standard HTTP things. I have not touched anything here. I've been doing code here in do post request. So here, what I've done is I'm getting a certificate in my post data. So we are reading what comes as a post request, and I'm logging that into a post data. All right. So now we have a cert name equals to self path, so the first path of the argument. So we have slash, we have the whole URL, the whole endpoint, and I'm parsing that endpoint and I'm getting the certificate names based on it. Then we have cert pem equals to cert name plus I'm adding pem, then I'm adding pfx for distinguishing what is what. I'm creating a file, as you can see, right equals create. I'm creating a file with the same name, certpem, that. I'm writing the data from the post request. So this is the date of the exact certificate. I'm writing the data and decoding it into UTF-8, and that was until I found that it was mind-blowing. I was not sure why it's not working. After I add that, it's super important. Don't forget it. After I added that, everything seemed to work, and I close the file. Then I do system, and I perform that OpenSL command that Certify tells us to perform, which is that. And then I print successfully generated, set the response, and I just write the file. Then I have another method in my Powershell, which is downloading that request. So let's just get right into it. That's pretty much the logic behind. I'm getting the certificate as a post body, generating a certificate with the OpenSL command, and then serving it back using the HTTP server. Nice. I know it sounds like kinda complicated, strange. It is, but after all, we are building a POC. We are not playing games, so that's the way it is, guys. Let me just see something, and we're continuing right on. All right. So now, this is my Python server, and I believe it works. So now, our idea here is to not sure what happened. Oh, this is the base 64. All right. Actually, to be sure, I kind of like it more that way. So I'm seeing the exact payload. All right. So we have that function extract.pfx. Now I want to pass arguments on that function. So PowerShell function arguments. Let's see now. Stack Overflow is always the better. Function, go to the solution, get something. These are parameters. So hmm. Alright, so I'm kind of stuck myself. We need to follow the logic we have before, right? So we're gonna need that first request find vulnerable, then cut the temp JSON and see if it's anything vulnerable, get the certificates for each template. Actually, we can perform check if the template is null, perform exit, and so on. So we have a bunch of logic until now. What we need to do now is after we request that certificate, we want to pretty much to read it, have the certificate, and then send it over the box. Alright, so now I can do this variable called cert, and that thing is gonna equal catting home cert.pem. Alright, and now I want to select string. This is pretty much the body of the certificate. Let me just copy. We have end certificate, and we have begin RSA private key. So we need the private key, and we need the certificate. So we're gonna do that. Actually, I'm gonna open up a new file, notes, We have that. Then we have enter, say, private key. My dog is going crazy. Then I'm gonna copy that. That's the next thing we need. And then we're gonna need that. So the certificate is divided into two parts. So we have begin the RSA key, some gibberish there, and the RSA key. And then immediately after that, we have begin certificate, which is the actual certificate, but it's encrypted with that private key, and the end certificate. So we need to grab that, and then we need to grab for that. So I think we're gonna need two separate functions for that to be done. So we're gonna need to, let's see now, we have a file called, come on, serve.pem. Let's try to select string, RSA, oh, sorry about that, select string RSA. Alright, and now we want PowerShell grep text between matches. Don't tell me we need the regex. Come on, I hate it so much. Yeah, I think we're gonna need regex. So, extract text between two keywords in PowerShell. Yes, that's what we need. Alright, so we need to cat it. So we need to cat serve.pem. Alright. Or actually save it into a variable. Alright. Then we need a pattern. So pattern equals, let's try with the certificate. Begin certificate. And we need to encode that. Begin certificate. And what was it? Write that, like that, and then end certificate. Oh, it's a full string, so we don't need to encode it two times, just one. All right, and then do string. All right, I already have that. And results regex match result regex match. It's cert. There it is. All right, so we have a way of pretty much catting things with regex. So does it correct? MIIF5, MIIF5, ending with 3OG, and it's correct. What bothers me is that we have an empty space as the first character, and we have an empty spaces inside, which bothers me. So I can do is pretty much do result to string split and do empty characters like that. What was the syntax of removing empty characters? Result equals result to string split, and then do new lines with nothing. Oh, come on. Alright. Powershell remove new lines. And what does it say here in the solution? So let's go back. That thing works for me, so let's just try it with its syntax. So the pattern equals to dot and question mark at the end. So let's try it again. Still the same. So let's bring the previous pattern like that. Alright. And now remove empty strings. So result replace with nothing. And there we are. Alright. So we have a way of getting certificates, which is nice. So here, let's go to Commando and perform this action. So let's just take here not lose our focus because that's important. So we need a pattern for grabbing certificates. Which is that? Actually, that one. Alright. So let's go back, POC, and do pattern for PEM equals to that. Alright. Pattern for RSA equals to, because as I told you, we have two keys, which is two parts, which is the RSA key and the certificate. So now we need to add a new pattern, which is begin RSA. What was it? I have it in my command notes. Begin RSA private key, which is that, and then RSA private key. And RSA private key, remove certificate. Now get the pattern again, and we have a different output. I believe that's the RSA DAG equals DAG equals, that's it. Alright. So that is our second pattern. So go to Commando, go to POC, and RSA for pattern for RSA is that. So I'm gonna make it first, since that's how the certificate is being structured. So after we find all the vulnerable templates and we save it into a file, alright, we are requesting for each template, we are requesting a certificate. And after we request it, we output that certificate into a file called cert.pem. Now we need to read that certificate, and I believe that the easier way is to pretty much make it into a function. So extract pfx. Now here we need to do cat that. Actually, we need to do cert equals to that. The very same logic we did pretty much there. Alright, then we need to perform the very same commands, which is pattern equals like that, and then do the regex command, which is that, and then do the replace command, which is that. Alright, so far we are getting the private key, but we need to do something else. So this thing is grabbing the body of the certificates between the start, begin, and the end of RSA private key, but we need to embed that thing so the certificate is valid. So if the certificate must have these things inside, as you can see, this is a valid certificate. If we remove that and we leave only with the body, it's not a valid one. So we're gonna need it to pretty much stay. So cert info, we're gonna call that cert info. Cert info is gonna be that. So it is gonna be our cert info there. Alright. Then we're gonna need to do certificate equals that actually. Like that. Alright. Was how to embed this thing now? I think with process. That's what I can think of. Hmm. So let's try plus result. Actually, that needs to be done here, like that, and then plus that thing. End of RSA key. Alright, I think that's it. So was that? And I think that should grab the RSA key. So what I'm gonna do is to pretty much cut that, paste into the Powershell and see what's gonna happen. So paste it like that, and the I replace operator allows two elements to follow it, not three. Alright, so we need to do a little bit of a modification. That result replace needs to be here. Result equals result replace, alright, and then we need to type result in here. Maybe that's the way it is. So copy it, paste it again, and do certificate, begin RSA private key, end RSA private key. Now I think we need to add some new lines. So certificate equals to that plus new line plus that, and then here plus new line and plus that. So let's try it again and see how it goes. Paste it in, certificate, and that's not how it worked out. So PowerShell add new line. Again, I'm asking you guys if you have any questions about it, just make sure to pop them right into the chat. The chat section is all yours. So yeah, add a new line. So we need that's a strange syntax. All right. So let's try rm. Let's remove that. Maybe paste here. Yeah, alright, that's how it is. It's a little bit of a strange syntax, but you know, it works. So, alright, that's how it is. Now copy it to my command box now. And we have a certificate. So that's gonna be called RSA. Alright. Then we're gonna need to do the same thing to perform the other action for the certificate. So we're gonna need cert info is the same. So pattern now, pattern 1 equals that. Alright, and now do result 1, result 1, result 1. Then go with pattern 2 equals to, and I've already saved them into variables. So I do not need to type pattern 1, I just need to do pattern for RSA. Alright, and then here I can do result 2 equals to that very same thing, but do pattern for PEM, I believe. Now result 2 equals to result replace all the empty spaces with nothing, and then body equals to begin certificate, new line plus result 2 plus new line and end certificate. That should be it now. Alright, and now the full certificate must be equals to result 1, I believe. Result 1 plus new line plus result 2. Alright, that should be it. So I'm gonna copy that and paste it here, and let's see what's gonna happen. Alright, not quite what I wanted, but oh, we need the body. Alright, so we need the RSA plus the body. Now copy it again, paste it here, certificate, and there we are. We have a valid certificate. So what I'm gonna do now is copy it to my carry box, vmcrt.pem, paste it here, and now do the OpenSL request to see if it's a valid one. So copy that, paste it here, and do serve.pfx, and here I want to do crt.pem. Unable to hold certificate, so it's not exactly right one, which is strange. So what I'm gonna do now is compare it with the original one. So cat serve.pem, that's it, and now certificate is that. By the logic, it's having the same content, but something is breaking up the certificate, because if I were to pretty much grab that one, so I wanna go here, and copy all the way to the bottom, and now if I open vim serve.pem, delete everything, set paste it like that, like that. Now it should work. Unable to hold private key. Now that's a strange one. So these certificates are always ending bad. Unable to hold private key. Come on. Do we have access to that folder? We have. That's strange. I can't seem to find the problem. Hmm. Let's try copying once again because maybe I mistyped something. Like that. Copying with Tmux sometimes can be a pain. Alright. Go here. Vim test.pem. Set paste. Paste like that. Alright. Follow the syntax and do test.pem. Unable to hold private key. So maybe let's try to research in Google about what that issue is all about. Open the key notepad and verify the coding. If it says UTF, change it to UTF. Oh, so maybe we are doing something wrong with the Vim, with the encoding itself. So maybe let's try. Do we have Kate here? We have it, alright. So Kate, paste it. Let's just copy it once again. So like that. Or maybe I need to copy it using a different kind of method. So I'm gonna do it like that. Alright. I'm gonna do it the old way. So here do Kate test.pem. Well, actually I'm gonna create a new file, test2.pem, because it already has some kind of encoding there. If I create a new file, let's see what's gonna happen. Now do OpenSL, test2.pem, unable to hold private key. Maybe if I'm not doing something right with the encoding, or is it something generally bugged about the whole certificate there. So, what did you say? I changed the header and the footer to. Do we have all the data we need? So, okay, there's the .pem. Begin RSA private key, end RSA private key, begin certificate, end certificate. It looks like it's fine. Maybe we have an extra line, remove that. Do we have any extra spaces here? We don't. Now let's try it again. Enable to hold private key. Let's try with our syntax. Certificate. Oh, it's here. So let's try with our syntax. See what's gonna happen. Kate test3.pem. Paste it like that. Save. Open a cell. Test3.pem. Unable to load certificates. Remove the line from there. That's really strange. I'm not sure what is missing. So we have exactly 5 dashes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So something is generally wrong with how the certificates is being generated. So let's try something else. Do you get it? Or mousepad? We have it, alright. Mousepad. C.pem. Paste like that. So it's not about the software I use to copy the certificate. It's about the whole body of the certificate. Alright. So let's think about it now. What is the problem here? Let's try to read a little bit more. PEM RSA private key. Let's try searching for that again. And while we search, I want to extend my time because the machine is gonna stop. It already did. We are streaming a lot of time. Never mind. So let's just go here and let's resolve the issue because we have certificate but we cannot read it, which is bad. So I'm desperately looking for help. We still have access, which is nice. So cat server.pem. Is the command the same? Have they done something like an update? Let's check it out. So, oh, I think it's more than it oh, all right. So I think we have some error with the copy, but let's see now. Let's copy it again and try the process. Right again from the start. So copy it like that. Go here. Do vim z.pem. Set paste. Paste it like that. Now do the same syntax with z.pem. And now it works. Alright. Now it works. So my idea now is to go back here, run our syntax, and I'm really not sure what went off, but the good thing is now that it worked. So copy our syntax now. Do certificate. Alright. And I'm thinking we grab the very same values. As you can see, DAG, but that ends with ROG. So here we need to do certinfo pattern for PEM. So that's for the RSA. That's for the PEM. Alright. Alright. What is the body of our payload? Body is that. RSA is that. Body is the same body with the RSA, but just having the other headers. So here the body equals to result 2, and result 2 equals to certinfo, which is that, pattern for PEM. I'm not exactly sure what is missing here. Alright, let's try it like that. So result 2, let's debug it. Result 2, nothing. And that's because I think we're missing patterns. So I'm gonna declare them like that. And now if I run that, now we have a different output. Alright, so here I think that now our syntax should work. Copy it like that. Certificate. Alright, now wait, again it's not different, but why? So that thing alone is working, right? So body equals to that plus result 2, alright, and certificate equals to RSA, which is that plus body. Now body equals again to DAG. Sorry, what? Let's run it again manually. And now it works. Something strange is going on and I'm not sure what. So if we do like that, now it seemed to work. And if I copy that now and go to the second box, remove o.pem and do vim test.pem, set paste it in, and do the exact same syntax with it test.pem. It works. All right. I'm not sure what happened, so maybe there's a bug of reading and changing things. Maybe it's doing something async action. But the main point is that now it works and we can proceed into the next step. So what we did so far is we have the ability of pretty much, we have a command, sorry. I think it may be a UTF-8 style dash, which is the end dash. When copying of website, it looks the same, but it's different characters to the expected ASCII. Yeah, thank you for the recommendation. I was wondering that's the same case, but I'm not sure what happened. If you paid close attention, you can see if the previous output was having like the same for the certificates and the RSA was having like the same bodies. So thank you for the comments. Now it's nice that it works. All right. So what we did so far, we have the ability to load Certify completely in memory. We have the ability to search it for vulnerable templates. We get that templates into a variable, and for each template, now we are running something. So here, the method is called extract pfx. So our job is not done. So far, it's good because we are extracting the certificates, but now we must make request to our Python. Now, let's copy that polar.py into our curly box here. So, like that. I'm gonna have another window for here. Vim cd adct. Do we have it? I think not. So, vim polar.py. Alright. Set paste and paste it here. Alright. Python 3 polar.py. It started. Alright. So let's say 8000. Do we have it? This is NLTP grep 8000. We have it. Alright. Nice. So my idea is the following. We have to get that certificate, make a post request back to our Python server, read that certificate, convert it into PFX, and then download it again. I'm thinking of excluding that into a different method just for getting the PEM. So maybe we need a function called function get PEM. Come on. Do we have that function in PowerShell already? Get PEM. I don't need to overlap something. We don't. All right. Now we're gonna copy all that into here and return certificate. All right. Now here we need to pretty much load that certificate. So certificate equals get PEM. All right. And now here we need to make a post request. So PowerShell post request with parameters body equals. All right. Paste it here, invoke web request URI. So this is gonna be my carry IP, HTTP. What was it? 10.9. Actually, I'm just gonna copy it. All right. Paste it here. Method post, and then body is gonna be equals to my certificate. All right. So I have already that being loaded into memory. So if I type certificate, it's being popped up. Now I'm gonna try that syntax, and we're gonna specify port 8,000. Let's see what's gonna happen. Error response not found, or server error. Why? Unsupported method post. Come on. I'm sure I have that do post there. I have. So what actually is going on? Let's see now. And why it's doing like 501? Maybe my body is not correct. Let's remove the body. And yeah, we have the unsupported method. What if I do get unsupported method? Sorry. Alright, so let's try to search for Python HTTP server report. Report server. Alright. Or not a port, I want a post. Alright. Go to row, copy that. Vim uploader.py. Remove that garbage, set paste, and paste the code. Alright. Python 3, uploader.py. I think it's the same thing. Oh my god. Now it hanged because we did not specify the port. Alright, now we have the post. Alright. Now here I want the body and certificate. And there is my certificate. So that's the whole idea. We have the body and that body is a certificate. So now what I want to do here is close that vim.polar.py and add my custom logic, which is from my commando polar.py cert name equals to that. So post data equals read content. Where is do post? Post data equals that. Alright, so we have already getting that. And I want my custom logic to be right about here. Alright. So now let's just copy cert name and all of that stuff. Save that. Paste it here. Of course, fix the formatting like that. Alright. And I think we should be ready. Let's test it out. So why does Vim hates Python? I mean literally. Unexpected intent. So let's try Kate uploader.py and let's run it actually in the background so it's not gonna break my terminal. And now, oh, that's it. Alright. Maybe it was not the Vim. Now it works. So let's try to upload it now. And OS not defined. Go to import OS. Run it again. And we have successfully generated the pfx file. So if I close my web server, list the directories, we can see we have serve.pfx. Now that can be launched using Rubeus to authenticate us. So we are pretty much almost done with the work, guys. Alright, so let's just find a way to download it back. Since our web server is gonna be working, so we're gonna define pretty much two variables. I'm not needing anymore. So here, carry download URL equals HTTP. What is my IP address? Like that. And then post URL equals to HTTP, that IP address, port 8000. Alright. So now we are doing a get PEM. So we are getting a certificate into that variable. Then we're gonna need to do post request to the post URL. Alright. It's gonna generate certificate. So let's do a stripping statement. So Powershell strip, set strip and set strip to 2000. I believe that it's in milliseconds, or we can do it in seconds. Alright, so set strip seconds and 2. That's because I want the backend to have time to process the request. If we just right away create the download requests, it may not process the certificate and it would fail. So that's why I need to set strip in 2 seconds, and then we're gonna do invoke web request URI download URL slash, or actually download URL in quotes, and then I want to serve.pfx. That's why we don't need that here. All right. And I think that should be it. So we have that certificate being already defined in our variable. If I am right, yes, it is. So let's try running that command. Something happened there. Let's see. Let's investigate that. So, all right. Now, what's the problem here? Let's try with the first one. Cannot. Oh, the variables are not defined, of course. Let's define them again. All right. Unable to connect because my uploader is not working. All right. Now it's okay. Let's leave. All right, that's the syntax. 1, 2. Don't tell me it's in seconds. It is. All right, so let's change the syntax a little bit. Instead of set sleep, we want just sleep for 2 seconds. All right. And then we need to invoke web request. And now we have nothing because we need an out file. Serve.pfx. And now we have valid pfx file. Nice. So let's just go to commando and do out file serve.pfx home serve.pfx. All right. And now if I were to copy the whole body of the function, it should work again. And nice. So let's remove the serve.pfx and run it again. And we have serve.pfx. All right. Now we have just one step further. We just need to embed that serve.pfx. That's why we're gonna need Rubeus. That's why we're gonna need to encode it in base64 again, embed it again, and just finish the process. So let's just clean our things a little bit. So we have a method called getPem, which is cutting home serve.pem. It's grabbing all the values and it's scratching and patching and building up a certificate. All right, it's returning that certificate. Then this thing is gonna get it from the method, I believe. So let me just declare that and let's see how that goes. Alright, and then that's the cool feature about having an interpreter in the CLI. So you can pretty much do whatever you want. So we have a typo. Alright. We can debug it in real time. So function, alright, alright, extract pfx. There we are. So remove self.pfx, do extract.pfx. There we are. Alright, so that thing is working without any kind of problem. So now we need to embed that into our loop. So here we need pretty much to perform extract pfx. Alright. Now the next thing we need to do is to embed Rubeus and then using the same logic make it authenticate. So here is the Rubeus GitHub. There's again documentation about how to run that thing in memory. So following the same logic, we need to where it is. Come on. mm, oh, I missed it. There it is. All right. So following the same logic, let's go here and do what was that? That's certify. Is that? Now let's change a little bit the syntax. Instead of code, we need to do certify. All right. So now we need to do Rubeus equals to, again, very same thing. So here, let's just go and do download Rubeus. So from the precompiled pack, I want that rubeus.exe. Download that. Come on, Commando. Copy it to my desktop, ADCT, paste it here. All right. So we have both files. Now let's go to dev documentation. It's about Certify, that's Rubeus. All right. Now do the full path again. So C users lsec desktop ADCT rubeus.exe. Copy that. Go here. Paste. All right. So we have 75. Let's just make it capital case. If we move Rubeus.text to Rubeus.text. All right. So cut Rubeus.text and do set clipboard. Set to clipboard. Now go to my POC here and paste it like the 75. So we have a giant piece of code for our base64 payloads. We have the 75 and down there, somewhere around here, we must have that Rubeus variable, but I can't seem to find it because we have a lot of code. Never mind, we have that. So the next step is to engage with Rubeus and pretty much authenticate with that PFX certificate. That's been done. Let's just roll it again, like that. Rubeus assembly and do Rubeus. Alright. It's loaded, and now let's do the dump one. Why not? But first we need to authenticate. So let's get back to my blog post there. We have done that, alright, and then we need to do rubeus.txt ask TGT and pass the certificate. So here, copy the, where was it? Yeah, there it is. So copy that, paste it here, and now change the syntax we need. Ask TGT, like that, alright. And then do, we need to get the ticket and then authenticate it. So we need to grab it again. But for that to happen, I want to test the full exploit based so far. So let me just save that one more time. Go to my Kali. Here, do remove POC PS1. Actually, we have done that here. We get like that. All right. We have our poll already. So let's remove serve.pem, remove serve.pfx, and now let's try invoke web request. What was it? IX, that. Let's see what's gonna happen now. Where is our error, since I believe nothing genuinely works on the first try? If we have that base 64 ticket, then it's nice, it's great, we have done a good job. But if not, we're gonna debug that in real time. Come on. Not found. Alright, so we have a serve.pfx, but failed to find certificate for serve.pfx. So let me try download in Rubeus locally. Do we have that? We don't. So let's open up Firefox. Certify. Recompiled. Alright. Go to Rubeus. Download. Do move download Rubeus.txt to here. Is it ready? Yes. Now the Python web server again. Do wget. Now file rubeus.txt. Alright, now we need to do, what was my blog post? Alright. Now we need to do rubeus.txt, ask TGT, that's syntax. Don't say now you're gonna work. And it did, but why? There's a saying, nobody in cybersecurity actually knows what the fuck is going on. So that's one of the theory. We have a certificate. We have a TGT, sorry. It successfully did its job. So maybe I know what's the issue. Maybe we need to do certificate home slash serve.pfx. Maybe. So let's try it like that. Let's just remove poc.ps1, remove serve.pem, no such file. Alright, nice. Then do wget poc.ps1, sorry, and then pretty much the same thing. So let's try it again. And now if you explicitly type the path we have to look for that certificate, maybe that time is gonna work. I bet it, because otherwise I'll be not sure what is the exact reason it's not working. Hmm. There we have it. I'm just wondering what is that response 404 not found, what that is doing. But we have a ticket. We have a ticket file, guys. So cat ticket, as you can see, is just a regular ticket for the administrator. It passed, so now the only thing left to do is to pretty much go ahead and do whatever you want. For example, change the password of the administrative user. Alright, so let's get back to the point. Why are we getting that for hundreds? I'm concerned about that. So file not found. Download URL cert.pfx. It cannot find that file because indeed it's not there. But why? So, that's strange. Let's see now, vim opera.py. Where does it save the file? Certpem. It should be saving in the same directory. That's really strange, guys. I'm honestly not sure what's going on. If you know, if you have any hints, I'll be pleasured. But I'm really not sure what is going on. So maybe, let's try just restarting the environment and try it again. So here I want to remove server.pem, remove server.pfx, remove ticket, remove temp.json. Alright, so I'm gonna leave these two files for debugging purposes, but as you can see, we are running everything from memory, so it's not the case. Run that again, and we need the servers, so Python HTTP server. Alright, let's see now. We get that 404 again. Of course, it's failed towards certificate. Unable to connect to remote server. Alright, that's strange. It said that it generated the pfx file, but we don't have anything inside. We're not generating files, that's the problem, but the question is why. Actually, we have it on the cage here. So on dev post, we have that thing here. And I think we never saved it. But it should be automatically generated. So if we have valid certificate, it should be automatically generated. But I'm not sure if we have a valid pen file. We never download it. So maybe that's the point. So here we never download the certificate. Did you notice in the output there's a mix between yes? Yeah, thank you for the feedback, HackerJohn001. I noticed that, thank you. But as you can see, there is not a single file called serv.pfx or serv.pem. So my idea is the following. Oh, so we have something, but they are hidden. So we have a problem with our logic, which is not downloading the certificate as they are supposed to be downloaded. Alright, so cert name equals to self path. Oh, that's why we need to pass that is a path variable. So maybe if we go to, where is it? Here, or actually, not here, I just lost myself again. To here, wait a second. Post URL and now type, for example, cert. Maybe. So let's do download it again and follow the same logic. So uploader.py. Now remove the web server, remove poc.ps1, we get poc.ps1 and run the Python server again. Now it should be working, I believe, because we did not download it, the PEM certificate correctly, and if it's not downloaded, it cannot be converted correctly. So now we have proper name for it, and if we visit the directories of that files, after the uploader is triggered, we should be able to see any kind of certificates there, I believe. And then we can fix the issue with the slashes. So, not the case. Damn. Alright. So, unable to load certificate. But we have that serve.pem. So, serve.pem, remove everything ends with pfx and with pem. Let's launch it again to see what's going on. That time, we downloaded serve.pem. But I believe something terrible happened with the conversion process. So here, serve.pem, as you can see, unable to load certificate. Why? So we are a step back, and that pisses me off. But that's the way it is. So again, we have the same error. Oh my god. So some way that function is not working as supposed to. So if I run it like that, you can see that, not here, sorry, but here, if I run the function like that, you can see that I'm getting the same issue, the same value. So we are not getting the valid certificate, but I'm not sure why. So let's debug it one by one. We have cert.info equals to cat home serve.pem. That's correct. That's where we start. Result1 equals to regex match pattern for RSA group value. So let's copy that. Let's just copy that and paste that to see what's gonna happen. Oh. Alright, nice. Let's try result 2. You see, it's different. But why I'm getting the same output when I paste the full piece of code? That bugs me out. So I'm sure that's a kind of a CV typo, but let's just debug it. Cert.info result 1, alright. RSA equals to that plus result 1, alright. Result 2 equals to that, cert.info, the same thing. Pattern for PEM. Oh, yeah, you're right. Result 2 is replacing on result instead of... Yes, you are right. And silly mistake by me. A stupid typo. Alright. Now it should be working. Thank you so much. Now, let's restart the process. Remove POC. Then we get, alright. Remove serve.pem. Restart my uploader. Everything should be fine. Now, there we are. Let's see now. we have again 404. We have serve.pem, and that time I believe it's alright. That time the certificate is being alright, but why does not it created a PFX format? So let's try it like that. No certificate matches private key. Sorry. So we have begin RSA private key and RSA private key. Begin certificate and end certificate. So maybe something bugged out. So I want to pretty much remove serve.pem, go here, remove serve.pem, remove them.json, and do the process once again. It's getting that 404 for server.pfx because it's not able to successfully convert it. As you can see, we have no certificate matches private key. That's why. So that 404 is our less important concern. First, we need to see why it's not generating a pfx file. Now it says it generated the pfx file, as you can see. Oh no, it's just the print statement I left. No certificate matches private key. Now what the heck that even means? Maybe did I hard code it somewhere that private key I wanted? Because the issue tells me that the private key are not for that certificate. So maybe I've hard coded it somewhere, but I'm not believing that. I'm not that stupid. Hmm, that's strange. So let's see now. Hmm, dir encoded, but it's in PEM. That's the strange thing because it's in PEM. File serve.pem, PEM RSA private key. Alright. New error, guys. So far, so good. We are having some progress. Alright. If we... Not sure what happened. Maybe the machine... Yeah. So the machine got disconnected. Let's go back. TryHackMe. Start machine. And we needed to wait a little bit. So... Apologize about that. But we are streaming 2.5 hours. Nice. So we have to wait for IP to wall again. Which is nice. So we have a fresh environment. So we can think for a solution about that. Why now does not like the encoding? And I fixed the slash as you said. It's right there. So save that. Let's go to carry again. Refresh the environment. Remove POC. And we get POC. Alright. Is the IP the same? I'm not believing that, since I think it's dynamically generated each time it starts it. Let's see. Yeah, it's having a different IP address. Never mind. Let's just copy that. Go to carry and do like that. Come on. When the TryHackMe machine was, try to be a little bit patient because There's a bunch of services loading, so it's normal for it to behave like that. And while that is been loading, I'm gonna copy my previous command, so I'm not gonna type it again. Come on. Do I need to edit my etc host file, or I need to wait a little bit more? So let's try ping. I think my network is fine. Yep, it's fine. So it should be loading in just a minute. Oh, there it is. Alright, so password. When you type the proper password and it says that permission denied, you just have to wait a little bit because the machine is not being fully loaded, so we need to be patient. There it is. Alright. So I copied the IP address. So let me just go back and copy my syntax and let's see what's gonna happen now. Paste it in. Fingers crossed, and we need to PowerShell. Come on. Paste it in. The first request has been done. Now we are loading Certify Rubeus. We are enumerating the templates. Come on. The next part is what's gonna happen when that uploader hits, because that's where things are getting tricky, and I'm not sure why the certificates cannot be converted. Just not sure. They worked like 50 minutes ago. You are like you saw it on live, and now it's enabling to load a private key. If we cut save.pem, now the private key is missing. But why? So I assume that all the variables have been already loaded to the memory. So let me just try it one by one, like that. Come on, don't betray me now. Alright, it works, but hmm. Let's see what is going on. RSA is empty. Begin RSA private key. Maybe our pattern is bad. Begin RSA private key and RSA private key. So the result one is working fine. Then let's remove the empty spaces. And now it's not. So the empty spaces are somehow triggering it, and that's because I made a typo again, and here I need to put result 1. And if I type, alright, so let's Let's get back to the point. We have result1 equals to that, result1 equals to result1 replace, and if I type result1, now it works. Alright. A bunch of typos, so let's add result1 to here. Let's restart the environment. Remove POC, remove self.pem. We get, alright. And let's try it one more time. It's good if it's one more. Alright, let's see now, big boy. What you got? It did not make a request to our folder since we need to first see the request here, or maybe it does, not sure. Let me just successfully generated PFX file, ask for TGT, and I think it worked now. Maybe, come on. Yes, TGT imported. Now this can be done for the next template. Yes, nice guys. All right. So we've already won the battle. Now we must decide what to do with these tickets. My idea is just to do a simple change command, as I did in my video and my blog post, but pretty much you can do whatever you want, so you can go ahead and experiment with yourself. So here, I'm gonna go to my blog post and copy that command, but now we need to get the ticket. Alright, so do we need that actually? Let me try like that. Just with the hard-coded variables to see what's gonna happen. Now go here, do it like that. If we pass the ticket, I'm thinking that we don't need to pass it again as a file because we used PTT, pass the ticket. So maybe that should work. So I'm gonna directly execute that with hard-coded variables to see what's gonna happen. It did not work. Maybe I have some kind of a typo again. Oh, we have changed password. All right. A ticket needs to be supplied. All right. So pass the ticket is not enough. So we need to pretty much get that ticket here, which is already there, and we can try it like ticket equals to home and then ticket like that, and password change success. So pretty much what we need to add here is dc equals to, oh, now we need to get only the dc, which is gonna need to grab for one extra thing. Target user, we have unerlocker.com. So we have to find a way to automate that because it's not good to use hard-coded variables. So I want a POC like a normal POC, which I'm gonna then place on my GitHub so you guys can have all the code there. Alright, so let's just automate things, and we need to do change password. I believe that was the syntax. Change POE, yeah, that's it. New, and then we need to get the DC. So here we need the method called function get DC. I hope that's not a valid method in my Powershell. So get DC, it's not. Alright, get DC, and now this function is gonna It's gonna cut that. All right. And then it's gonna, where is the function for getting things? Yeah, that's it. All right. So here I want to do dc equals cat for that, but instead of selecting full name, I want pretty much to cat tmp.json. I want to select, where is it? DNS hostname. I believe it's that. So let's copy it like that. All right. And now that's my DC. We don't need that function. Enough. That's simple enough. So here, and we have target user. That target user is gonna be pretty much dc slash unerloc.com, DNS hostname dc-unerloc.com, and then we need the enterprise CA name. So unerloc.com. And we need to grab that from the we have the DC and we have the domain slash administrator. So maybe we just need to grab everything beside that dot, which is unerloc.com, which matches that. So let's just go here and do user equals how to make that as easy as possible. Let me just think about that for a second. So that DNS hostname resolved into undc-unerloc.com, so we need only that. So pretty much mini dc equals dc dot split maybe. Powershell separate string. Yeah, I want that splitting. Examples, please. All right, so split, and then we're gonna need to type the syntax. So dot. All right, and we need the second part. What I'm pretty much searching for is how to get things after the split occurs. So pretty much I want to split the things based on the dot and then get everything after the dot. So maybe with that, maybe. Let's test it out. So go to Kali, do it like that, DC, perfect, and then mini DC equals, yeah, not the case. Yeah. All right. So DC equals to that. DC DC. Oh, there it is. All right, but we have an empty space, so maybe DC equals replace like that. DC equals DC replace with that. We still have that one extra wine which is gonna bug things out, and I believe that's the case because usually new wines, special characters are a nightmare, so we must get rid of them. So give me guys a hint. If you know any hints, just I'm open for your ideas. Let's just hmm let's just think about that. So the DC works fine. Can we try like that? So we need DC slash administrator. Alright, then this is gonna be DC. Can we do it like that? I mean, we haven't tried it, right? So, yeah, and we need a ticket. So, ticket, ticket, password error. And if we type owner.com, password change success. So it must be parsed. Alright, so inside temp.json, don't we have a string just for owner.com? It's everything with DC. Alright, so we have to parse that. So let's just go back and here DC is fine. And now we need to type user equals let's start again with our logic, our initial logic of parsing that DC. So DC equals to that, mini DC equals to that, which is nice, but we have a new line which is terrible. Then we need to pretty much do replace new lines with nothing. Still have it. PowerShell cut. Oh, we have a cut. Yeah, I forgot about cut. So, all right. The right part, name, substring, and position. All right. So we have position equals index of, and then DC dot. All right. Position equals DC index of DC dot. All right. Then right part equals DC dot substring position plus 1. Not exactly what we expected. So position plus 5, position plus 6, but this cannot be automated. This can be hard coded for the exact same scenario, but we want to. Yeah, how can John, you right? Maybe we need to do split mini DC split or replace replace nr with nothing. Let's try the reverse logic rn. No, still doesn't work. Let's think about that. So that happens to be our final issue, guys. After that, the POC's been ready, we can right away test it, but we need to parse interactive with that thing. So let's start again with the temp.json. So hmm. Because we can do it like that, we have DC equals to that, and we can do DC2 equals to DC dot replace, and pretty much do one DC dot with nothing. DC2 is exactly what we want. Nice, but this does not work because it's not automated. Or we can automate it. Pretty much, why not? I have another idea. Why don't just we call out the administrator? I mean, like that. Why not? So let's try it out. Domain.com administrator. PowerShell find domain.com. Get AD. Get a domain controller. Maybe that's gonna do the work. Woonerrook.com. There it is, guys. Alright, so we need to select string domain. Come on. Alright. Select object domain. Set clipboard. If we pipe that into a file, we have the full body. Alright. So we need somehow get rid of that domain thing. So that's very nice and it can work. So user domain, come on. Owner. Hmm. Hmm. So pretty much that get AD domain controller works the best. But we need to do select object and type domain. Alright. unique, not unique. We want to how to get rid of that? PowerShell select object without its data. Yeah, that is my problem. Alright, so we don't need that. Try this, get the computer identity recursive select object name, that name, alright. Select object. So min dc equals that dot domain. There we are. All right. Now we automated that. So let's get to our POC. Let's add the ticket. Ticket equals ticket. Actually, home slash ticket backup slash. And now user equals to that plus administrator plus administrator. All right. Maybe this should do the work. So let's try it like that. There we are. All right. And now what we need to do is targeted user, specify the user here. And I think, guys, our POC is ready. So is the final countdown. So let me just go ahead and remove serve.pem, remove serve.pfx, remove test.txt, remove ticket, and remove temp.json. Clear environment, right? So here, remove POC, remove serve.anything, and now we get POC back. All right, refresh our uploader and refresh our web server. All right, time for testing. IEX. Let's see, guys. Fingers crossed. Let's see now. Come on. It's taking a while to load the exes. Keep in mind that the base 64s are huge, so maybe it works. Alright. Come on. Password change success. Nice! So now, if I were to do SMB map, host, which is ipconfig, which is that, and do username administrator and password equals to, I change it to what? Change me 1-3. We can successfully log in as administrator, which is nice. Nice. So that's the POC, guys. That's the POC. We learned how to inject stuff into memory related to PowerShell, since it has C# support. So any native C# tool can be run in PowerShell from memory. Keep in mind that it's not completely in memory and some files are indeed generated, but are minor files inside temp directories, so nothing to worry about unless you are doing heavy invasion. Alright, so first thing, I explained that process in my blog post and in my video, in YouTube video, but with the manual way. Now we developed a POC to automate that. So imagine you enter or breach your target. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. We breach the target in our red team engagement. We want to check that thing. We just host the POC, hustle our uploader, run that IEX command. We can right away see if it's vulnerable or we can do breach escalation. Of course. Just a big note. In real engagement, you don't need to right away change the password. In real engagement, you need to block certain kind of functionality and make it like to that point right here, just to see if anything is being vulnerable. Because if you request a ticket, request a certificate, sorry, and you can successfully pretty much make it work, that means it's already vulnerable. Then you can go and ask client, hey, we found that, can we exploit it? Yada yada yada. You know how it goes. But this is just a very better version of the POC. Of course, I can make it better. I can add exit functions. I can add error checkings if something goes bad to exit the proper way or try it again using different kind of variables. This is just the basic versions. But what we did is utilize Certify in memory on how to scan for vulnerable certificate templates. And again, just in short, I can explain what the vulnerable certificate template means. Is the template that allows to be requested as different user or machine. So here in that example, as we did, I am requesting a certificate from administrative user. So I am THM, but the AD service knows and thinks that I am administrator. So pretty much I am saying, hey, give me a certificate, I'm the administrator. There it is, and you see what happens. Then we need to request certificate. Then we need to change it back to our carry box, because keep in mind that in real engagement or in any kind of Windows boxes, it's really hard to perform that certificate translation from PEM to PFX. So it's way easier to just translate it back, run it with Python, and then send it back. This just, I know it's generated some traffic, but if you can translate it using PowerShell, I'm not sure if it's even possible, but if you can, I'll be really happy to see. And after we have that PFX certificate, we can pretty much do whatever we want. We can generate a ticket, inject that ticket, change password, and perform different kind of authentications. So the stream was 3 hours. So in 3 hours, we developed a POC. Thank you guys for watching. This is gonna be on my YouTube in code. It's gonna be on my GitHub. So in my YouTube video, I'm gonna put a link to my GitHub rep where I uploaded that, so you can go ahead, see, modify, and use it for yourself. So again, this is just for educational purposes. Hope you enjoyed the stream. I'm thinking of going, and thank you all for watching and for your support. See ya, guys.